as you can see, this is a really rather wonderful example of a low mileage Rover 45. But would the sensible me actually want to keep it? And the answer is no, not really, because I've got a Peugeot. But I'm not known as Old Rover Man for no reason. No, I'm known. God, I can smell burning rubber. I wonder if it's my tyres. I'm going to get a wheel spin if I'm not careful. Gosh, that's good. Now the Peugeot has more room, it's safer, but it's not any better on fuel. In fact, I think this is better on fuel. I always say the safest car is the car that you don't crash. And the best way of making sure you don't crash a car is by being very defensive in your driving. And you're more likely to do that if your car isn't that safe. So therefore, the safest car is what you're going to get hurt in if you crash it. Anyway, most of this is somewhat irrelevant, really. But it is just an intro on this lovely autumn day, where I'm hoping there'll be enough decent weather to crack on with this job without finding myself regretting doing it at all, because it's not going to be that easy. And so, the day has come. The bravery biscuits have been consumed. The courage serum smeared over my forehead. I have plucked some pluck, and I'm basking in valour. Let's go and cut some metal up. Now, does anybody remember, or was anybody watching, when I found, by poking away on the underside of the body, fingers went through holes? And that's not supposed to happen, but what is supposed to happen is it's supposed to be mended by me. I've got plenty of time, 56 days to be precise, before the MOT runs out, and I don't particularly want to have it languishing around the yard without an MOT at all. And I'll still be in two minds, because I don't need this car. Not when I've got something bigger and more purposeful. Purposeful, yeah. But I do like it. I do like it. Time to peel back the carpet of no-nonsense misery and discover what we have underneath. Obviously this has to be removed, that section has to be removed, and then the carpet can be peeled out of the way. But maybe the seats will have to go as well. Not sure. It's obviously not as bad as I thought, because you can't see anything from the inside. But the carpet is wet. That's good news, but it's also not good news. I mean, it is good news, but the bad news is that I can't do the job from here. I've got to do it from underneath now. How much of the job can I get done today? Ramps. I have ramps, big ramps, long ramps, safe ramps. The only thing is, they do tend to be in the way when you're trying to be under the car. And also, the other issue is that they stick out so far that even without space there, then they'll be encroaching into the area that isn't really mine. So I'm going to jack it up and bung wheels underneath instead. Just gone and dropped the dog off at home. You might have spotted I started off without the welding mask on, and that's because it was a bit too awkward. It is awkward being not underneath as such, but being to the side, because it just falls off. And the only option then is to just cover your eyes up, which is what I did. And then, after a while, I got a bit burnt. Look, got a nice dollop of metal burning its way into my hand, so I wouldn't have found the gloves. Should have done that in the first place. You know, you're supposed to use all of the proper gear, but I'm worried for a man that has clearly got no idea, it could turn into some sort of phrase. One side complete, I'm back off to work to do the other side, which is definitely preferable to trying to get to Bradford on the M62. It's time to begin work on the other side. The other side looks a bit worse, but it's only really a matter of needing a slightly bigger patch. That's all. The other side looks a lot worse, but it's not, and it's still not come through into the floor pan, as we can see here. Faith restored in the solidity of this old motor, because you normally, when you see that kind of corrosion, it's right the way through, and on this instance, no. Good chap, good car, well done. Well, it's past 6 o'clock and everybody's gone home. It doesn't look that dark yet, but it actually is. My camera's just particularly good at picking up light that isn't there. So this is finished now. I'll paint it over with this, the rest of it tomorrow, when it's dried out. I'll tell you what I think is strange here. Is it strange? I don't know. I was going to give it a... I was going to leave this car on sawn for a whole month, which was going to be this month originally, so I could get the welding sorted out on it, and I've gone and done it in one day, and that rather surprises me. Tell you what else rather surprises me, that nobody's been asking about nefarious Neville. It's like he's been forgotten about. But he hasn't, because he's here. Earlier today I was thinking, well, I'll get this welding job done and then I'm going to make a video about this. I haven't done. It's not a surprise, is it? Rodney. Oh, I should have done that the other way around, shouldn't I? Let's do that again. Let's... it's my own fault for putting the car in the way. This is being collected quite soon. It's got itself a new home. My family car's a Peugeot, but if I want to, I could just take this home tonight. And do you know what? I think I will. Well, that was the plan, but I'm probably going to need the Peugeot for Doggy tomorrow, aren't I? The other day I thought this car was being quite clever with this seatbelt thing, because I'd gone into Lidl, and Lidl had came after this sat-nav thing had been installed in the car. So the sat-nav assumed that I was off-road somewhere. Like, you don't get that bleeping if you're in reverse gear. See? Because you don't need to wear your seatbelt whilst you're reversing. But it must think that the yard is a road rather than just a yard. I wonder why. I was going to celebrate my triumphant day by driving home the Reverend, the 45 diesel, but something occurred to me, and that is that, well, maybe I'm just getting too old to drive. No, that. Let's start again. That seam seal and stuff needs to dry. I don't really want to be driving having stones flicking up against it. It could knock bits off. That's it, really. Because actually the urge to just take the Rover out and enjoy that oomph that it's got, the Peugeot seems to be not quite getting. The urge is less than I thought. I'm just enjoying a big car, a big safe car, a bit more than I used to do. Which is back to where we started, isn't it? So, the Reverend, the Rover 45, is going to be ready for MOT in 56 days. 56 days its MOT runs out, so I'm going to give it 26 and then take it for its MOT. And at which point, if it passes, I think I'm going to put it up for sale, because it's the sensible thing to do. And unfortunately, I seem to be getting obsessed with doing sensible things at the moment. Gosh. Anyway, thank you for watching, and thank you for being a subscriber, and thank you for liking the video. Thank you for being a channel member, and thank you for not pressing that unlike button. It shouldn't even be there. It's basically enabling wrong-uns as far as I'm concerned, the unlike button. Right, anyway, bye. A successful day. I've welded up 2 patches on the Reverend. They're solid. The underside is now good for MOT. I did it without setting it on fire, and I put all of the trim pieces back as they were, and nothing got broken.